Good evening, Seychelles. Here's the news summary for this Thursday on SBC. As of yesterday's statistics, there are 247 active COVID-19 cases in the country. All of them are on Mahe. 127 of the cases are in 4 isolation centers, with 3 in the intensive care unit of the Family Hospital. During this afternoon's press conference, the Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gédéon, and his team once again commended the downward trend in the number of cases.
We are happy to announce that Praslin and Ladig, they do not have any active cases anymore. However, they remain under high alert. We have so far 269 healthcare workers who have been infected since the outbreak started. Right now we have only 10 who are still active. The rest have recovered. None of our staff, none of the healthcare workers have lost their life because of COVID-19. The number of deaths at present stands at 16, sadly. This represents, actually, compared to the number of cases we've had, represents just under 0.5% mortality, which is a lot less than what you see in most countries. As regards to vaccination, at present we've reached 86% of the target population for the first dose, and that represents 38% of the total population for dose 1 and 2. So 38% of the target population have been vaccinated, and that's over a quarter of the total population of Seychelles. We are presently accelerating our vaccination campaign. We have enough Sinopharm doses to give to anyone who comes forward for the first or second dose, if they are due for the second dose. So we encourage everybody to come forward for their booster dose if they have reached the time, or for their first dose. And the people who have not taken their first dose are key in ensuring that we reach adequate immunity to prevent transmission in the community.
And we're gearing up to the opening of the school. Seamstresses and school uniform suppliers say next week's return to the classroom is keeping them busy. But they say restrictions on customer numbers in their shops to maintain physical distancing are hitting sales. The rush comes as schools prepare to reopen to primary and secondary level pupils on Monday.
Tina on Dimion is busy sewing on patch pockets to school shirts morning, noon and night.
Today I don't know. We have just started since 8:30.
How many did you do?
Many, yes.
50?
About 50.
She's among 6 seamstresses at Stella Afif's shop in Divas Mall, helping to meet a surge of demand for schoolwear. But business isn't as brisk as it should be.
It is very noticeable now that the parents are not buying like before. They used to buy 5 sets of uniforms, but now they are buying less.
Changing rooms are closed, meaning there's no privacy for children trying on items. And for many, the months of inactivity have seen waistlines swell.
They've put on weight, yes, because we've got some clients who've been buying the uniforms since December. They've come to exchange because it's been too tight on them.
At Ensupin, this shop's normally busiest months are December and January, providing uniforms for children at 30 schools around the country. But now...
Chaos. 1 person or 2 person at a time. At the shop is very close. I have big line. They are waiting more than half an hour or more than 1 hour.
There's been a last-minute rush for new school bags too, and a sudden surge in stationery sales. Back to school means business, with retailers learning possible lessons for the future from lockdown's end.
The National Assembly has approved the budget for the Ministry of Education. It's a sum of over R1 billion. Vina Onesia has more in this report.
While setting out his vision, the head of the ministry, Dr. Justin Valentin, spoke of his determination to bring about a new system of education in the country and to ensure that no child is left behind. He acknowledged that this year's budget is not that adequate as a result of the dire economic situation in the country, but he spoke of his optimism that the situation will improve later so that he may be in a position to carry out the full extent of his plans for education in Seychelles. One of the many issues that came during the session was the question of expatriate teachers and lecturers. Minister Valentin acknowledged that expenses on expatriates account for at least 4% of the ministry's budget. He expressed optimism that more young people will take up teaching as a profession.
And the National Assembly has approved a budget of over 100 million rupees for the Seychelles Fire and Rescue Services Agency. That's a 45% increase on the agency's last year's budget. Checking out the plans and tasks ahead of the agency, the Minister for Internal Affairs, Errol Fonseca, announced that the agency's Answayal branch will be opened before the end of the year. This will necessitate the recruitment of a further 25 staff. Some of the other issues that came up during questioning by MNAs in the National Assembly included the present location of the SFRSA headquarters. The Chief Fire Officer noted that it was not an ideal location and decisions will have to be made on its relocation in the future. And during the Cabinet's meeting chaired by President Wavell Ramkalawan yesterday, a number of legal and policy memorandas were considered. Cabinet resolved to defer any further applications for the sale or transfer of residential land to non-Seychellois. Amongst the most important decisions also made by the Cabinet yesterday were amendments to the Anti-Corruption Act to enhance border security, which would cover electronic travel authorization and support for the ongoing research being undertaken by Greenpeace. Finally, the Cabinet approved the Seychelles National Report, which was due for submissions to the United Nations Human Rights Council last month. The Department of Employment is in the process of analyzing the demand made by the Maya Hotel to make redundant 40 of its employees. The reason for the demand is to restructure the operation of the hotel and reduce cost. The Director of Labour Monitoring and Compliance in the Department of Employment, Tara Diallo, said the department has had a meeting with the representatives of the hotel.
The employment department got some information from the management of my hotel. So the management has given us a commitment that they will be meeting with their staff by latest tomorrow to explain to the staff what is really happening at the hotel and to explain to the staff the restructuring which is going to happen. So we, the employment department, we are going to follow up closely with the management of my hotel to see if these communications have undertaken. For redundancy, we have a process whereby workers are called in for meetings together with the management of hotels, and in the end, a decision is taken by the employment department.
And with this, we end the news summary at this hour. Enjoy the rest of your evening.